Every year we hear about the advertising trends that you need to know, but 2026 is a little different. The changes happening right now are so much bigger than we've seen in the past, and most advertisers are completely unprepared for this. So here are the trends that are going to actually matter in 2026. If you're new here, this is the Foreplay channel, where we spend all day inside ad libraries studying what's working for the best brands in the world. We're trusted by over 10,000 social ad teams and agencies, from big brands like HelloFresh, AG1, and True Classic, to top agencies like VaynerMedia. Now, if you want to stay on top of what's working with digital ads, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. Now, what we're seeing in the ad space right now is a massive change in how winning ads are being built. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the biggest advertising trends that we're seeing in 2026. I'm going to talk about algorithm changes, why creative strategy matters more than ever, the AI tools reshaping the industry, and a few emerging trends that will definitely surprise you. Trend 1 is the big one. Meta's Andromeda algorithm has changed everything. Now, let's start with the biggest shift that most advertisers don't even know happened. In late 2024, Meta quietly rolled out a completely new ad delivery system called Andromeda. And I don't say this lightly, this is the most significant change to Meta ads in years. So here's how it used to work. You would select your audience, interests, behaviors, demographics, lookalikes. You were largely in control of who saw your ads. The algorithm just kind of helped optimize within those parameters. But here's how it works now. You provide the creative, and Meta's AI decides who sees it. That's about it. The algorithm uses deep learning to match your ad creative to your intent in real time. So your targeting selections, well, they're basically just suggestions now. During beta testing, this system actually showed a 5% increase in conversions in Q2. By Q3, that had doubled. The algorithm is learning fast. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means going broad isn't just acceptable anymore, it's actually the better strategy. What we're seeing is that the advertisers running entire country targeting with no age or interest restrictions are actually seeing Meta Ads AI find their ideal customer better than manually setting it up. Now let's move on to trend number 2, which is creative is the only competition. Now, I brushed on this earlier, but this is the part that kind of trips up most advertisers. When I say creative is your targeting, I don't mean that you should make better looking ads. I mean the algorithm literally uses your creative to determine who sees it. Different creative attracts different people. Meta's AI matches visual patterns, copy angles, and emotional triggers to user behavior on the platform. It's a little Black Mirror, but that's just how it works now. So if you're running the same 3 ad variations with slightly different hooks, then you're not really giving the algorithm enough to work with. Meta's own recommendation has shifted from 6 ads per set to 15 to 50 genuinely different approaches. Now, I'm not talking about different iterations, and I'm not talking about the same concept with different headlines. I'm talking radically different angles, tones, and formats. Now, as the agency Anchor put it, your ad library should look like a film festival, not a casting call. If all your ads look like they were made by the same person for the same audience, the algorithm will just treat them basically like the exact same ad. And here's something that most people actually miss. Static images still drive 60 to 70% of conversions on Meta. Now, short-form video is important, but don't sleep on carousels and text-only static ads. Both are performing really, really well right now. So the takeaway from this is creative diversity is no longer optional. It's actually your primary competitive lever. The advertisers who figured this out first are going to have a massive advantage in 2026. Now, this is exactly why we built Foreplay in the first place. If you're supposed to have 15 to 50 or more different creative angles, then you need a system to find inspiration fast. Foreplay lets you save ads from TikTok, Meta, and LinkedIn ad libraries, organize them into boards, and then build briefs directly from winning concepts. This is exactly how top brands and agencies stay ahead of creative ad fatigue. They just use Foreplay. If you want to give it a try yourself, you can try it completely for free. The link's down in the description. Okay, let's move on to the next trend, which is the AI sameness problem. And here's where things get a little uncomfortable. Everyone is using AI to create ads right now. And that makes sense considering I just told you that Meta's algorithm is basically telling you that you need 15 to 50 genuinely different ads. Now, that's both hard and time consuming to do manually. And it's still hard even if you're hiring a fleet of UGC creators or a ton of agencies to spin up these ads for you, because still an insane number of ads to keep going through. So now what we're seeing is 95% of marketers are testing generative AI for creative production. But here's the problem with that. 86% of marketers have already seen AI outputs that look identical to their competitors. So just think about that. If everyone is using the same AI tools with similar prompts or straight up copying winning ads, then we're all producing the same content. So this creates a really big problem, which is the AI sameness crisis, and it really is a big problem. MIT research found that human-led creative teams outperform AI-only campaigns 3-to-1 in emotional impact. Now, the algorithm might be doing the targeting, but the creative itself has to be human. Because after all, you are making content for humans, and AI-generated content still feels, well, AI-generated. So what's the move here? Well, you can use AI for speed and iteration, but the final output needs human judgment, human emotion, and a distinct point of view. Authenticity beats polish every single time. So I think the brands that win in 2026 won't be the ones with just the most AI-generated content, but I think you'll actually be the ones whose content actually feels different and makes a connection with their audience. Okay, so let's talk about the next trend, which might be a little controversial. And this is the death of test and scale. Now, the old playbook went something like this. You would test creative in one ad set, find winners, then scale those winners to new audiences or campaigns. Now, unfortunately, that approach is dying. With Advantage Plus and similar automation across platforms, scaling winners to new contexts produces diminishing returns. The algorithm already knows what's working and where. Moving an ad somewhere else often resets its learning. So what is the new approach then? Well, you want to scale ads where they win in their original context. Don't move them, let the algorithm just do its job. And here's the uncomfortable truth about measurement and attribution. Zero-click search is actually increasing. Only 8% of users click links from Google's AI summaries. This means that traditional click-through rates and last-touch attribution are actually becoming less reliable. And with Meta ads, it's the same story. The platform is doing more of the work for you, but that means that your old measurement habits might actually be lying to you. Meta just rolled out incremental attribution, which shows you only the conversions that wouldn't have happened without your ad. Now that's a big deal because it means the platform is finally trying to answer this question. Did this ad actually cause a sale, or would they have bought anyways? Oh, and here's another change that most people might have missed. Meta's learning phase used to require 50 conversions over 7 days. Now, some advertisers say it's dropped to 10 conversions over 3 days. The algorithm is learning faster, which means smaller brands can finally compete. But this also means you need to rethink your measuring success inside the platform because no single measurement method really tells the whole story anymore. So what's the solution here? Well, you need multiple ways of measuring. Use platform attribution, whether that's Meta or Google, for quick day-to-day decisions. Then run experiments and lift tests to figure out what's actually driving conversions. And make sure to zoom out regularly with something like media mix modeling to make sure that your overall budget is going to the right places. Okay, now let's actually talk about where the money is going. So trend number 5 is the channels that you can't ignore. Connected TV, or CTV advertising, is entering its performance era. We're looking at $38 billion in spend this year, up 14% from last year. And here's what's changed. CTV isn't just for brand awareness anymore. Platforms like Roku and Hulu are now driving measurable business outcomes across the entire funnel. Oh, and the barrier to entry has completely dropped. You can now run CTV campaigns starting at just $500. TV advertising is no longer just for big budget brands. In fact, one platform making waves in the space is Mountain, or MNTN. They've essentially turned CTV into a performance marketing channel that works exactly like paid search or social. You just set up campaigns, target audiences, and optimize in real time. What's wild is that 90% of their customers are first-time TV advertisers. If you don't know much about it, Ryan Reynolds is their chief creative officer, and they've built an AI tool called QuickFrame that lets even small brands create studio-quality CTV ads in minutes. Now, this is a really good example of how the CTV space is becoming a lot more accessible, and you should definitely consider it in 2026. Also, retail media networks are the other big channel to watch out for. US retail media spend will hit $71 billion this year, growing faster than search or social. Now, Amazon alone holds about 80% of this market, which is just insane. But why does this matter? Closed loop measurement, that's why. You can now connect ad impressions directly to transactions. With third-party cookies fading, that kind of clean attribution is incredibly valuable, and Amazon knows that. Oh, and then there's also TikTok Shop, and this one really surprised me. At $23.4 billion in projected US sales alone, TikTok Shop will now surpass Target, Costco, Best Buy, and Kroger. And during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they did over $500 million in sales in just 4 days. So if you're selling physical products and you're not testing TikTok Shop, then you're leaving some serious money on the table. Okay, so now let's tie all of this together. Trend number 6 is your data is your new moat. Remember when everyone panicked about Google killing cookies? Well, they reversed that decision, but it actually doesn't matter. 67% of US adults have already turned off cookies or website tracking on their own, and 35% of browsers block third-party cookies by default. Now, it's pretty clear that the industry has completely moved on without waiting for Google. But here's the problem. Fewer than 1 in 5 marketers say that their first-party data is actually well-structured. Meanwhile, 71% of publishers now say that first-party data is their key source of advertising results. And that number's up from 64% just last year, so I'd assume that would only keep going up. So the gap between who has good data and who uses it well is massive. And that gap is your opportunity. The algorithm is only as smart as the data that you feed it. If you're sending Meta garbage signals, then you're going to get garbage results. Clean data is your only competitive advantage now. So this means that you're going to want Meta Pixel plus Conversion API running together, not one or the other. You're going to need both. So turn on value-based optimization. Tell Meta which customers are actually worth money to you, and upload customer lists segmented by purchase value. Your best customers and your worst customers should not be in the same audience. And if you're not doing this already, make sure you upload your unsubscribe list as a negative audience. Stop paying to reach people who literally already said no. Oh, and here's a stat that really stood out to me. You get 84% higher acceptance rates when users perceive a clear value exchange for their data. People will happily share their information if you give them a reason to, so make sure you give them a reason. Use high-quality lead magnets, free tools, and any other way to give value for people's contact information. Now, everything I just covered in this video is about where advertising is headed in 2026. But just knowing these trends is only half the battle. You also need to know exactly what kind of creative is winning right now. And there's one creative format in particular that's outperforming pure UGC and studio content by 20 to 40% on CPA. And almost nobody's using this right now. So I break that down along with some other winning strategies in the 2026 Ad Creative Playbook in this next video. So go click the video on the screen or go down to the link in the description if you don't see it on screen here. Go watch that, and I'll see you in the next video.